I thought that was the end. Good afternoon. It gives me, thank you. It gives me great pleasure to welcome the 2011 Daemen College commencement crowd here today. I'd especially like to welcome all of the family members and friends of our graduates who have traveled long distances to share this important occasion. We thank you, and your graduates also thank you. We're all glad you're here. Commencement is really not about me, so I'd like to focus on you. It's my favorite day of the academic year, a time when all of us have an opportunity to share in the achievements of the outstanding young women and men who are stepping out into the world this afternoon. They have worked hard, and they truly represent the best of Daemen College. We share your pride in their accomplishments. To our seniors, of course, this is a moment you have long been anticipating, the culmination of all your hard years of work at Daemen. It is also a moment of satisfaction and pride for our faculty. The relationships between each faculty member and his or her students is at the center of the learning process and remains at the forefront of our educational endeavors. In that line, I would ask all of our faculty members to stand and be acknowledged for their dedication to our students. Would the faculty please stand? As outstanding as our faculty is, the college needs staff and administrators to keep it running. And I know many of you have long relationships with those people as well. I'd like to have our administrators and staff stand and be acknowledged for all they do throughout the year. Please stand. There's another equally important, if not more important, group of individuals who won't be receiving a diploma this afternoon, but who are without question a vital part of this day. Those are the parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, friends, loved ones, other loved ones who have been part of your journey here as graduates. I'd like to ask all the graduates to stand and turn toward these loved ones and thank them with me for their help. Thank you. I'd like to now introduce those members of the platform party who would not otherwise be introduced. Please stand when I call your name, and in the audience, please hold your applause until all these people are introduced. Dave Cristantello, Vice President for External Relations. Rich Ann Mankey, Vice President of Student Affairs. Robert Beiswanger, Vice President for Business Affairs. Patricia Brown, Vice President of Enrollment Management. Kathleen Boone, Associate Vice President of Academic Affairs. Please join me in thanking these people. I'd also like to introduce those trustees. Daemen has a wonderful bunch of trustees who have been just terrific for all the years I've been here and for years before that and for the years to come. I'd like to introduce those trustees who will not otherwise be introduced today. Ask them to stand and ask you to hold your applause until I do all of them. Catherine Campbell, Robert Coor, Chris Fries, Seymour Knox IV, Lynn Mullane, Connie Very, and Wayne Wisbaum. Please join me in thanking them. Finally, some special guests, not finally to me, most important to me, special guests who are in the audience today. My wife, Dr. Sherry Anisman, Joyce Ullery Clausen, wife of Vice President Ed Clausen, Gloria Lumsden, wife of our late board member emeritus, Charles Lumsden, Vicki Brogan, Amanda Myers, Andrew Mack, son of our speaker, and Brian Rusk. Thank you all. Finally, this, I'm sure it doesn't look easy, but it looks a lot easier than it is. This is a very intensive work ethic for all of us who put this commencement together. And there are several people who work most hard at this for really almost a whole year to prepare this day. There are really dozens of other people who I won't be able to introduce, but I'd like to ask the main committee members to stand as they call their name. The co-chairs are Sherry Gustus and Sue Gerard. Also, Paulette Anzalone, Julie Miller, Chris Malik, Blake Thurman, and Margene Weiss. Thank you all for your great work. In your program, there's a description of the flag behind me. This is the 10th anniversary of that flag. It was done by 4 graduates of Daemen College right after 9/11. It's only flown on this day, or not flying really, but tacked to the wall on this day. But it's in memory of 9/11, and it's been up for 10 years now. So I think it's nice to point out that, again, the 4 people who made it were graduates just like you sitting out in the audience, felt they had to do something after 9/11. So I think it's a great testimony. Our speaker this afternoon, and you get the luxury, by the way, of seeing me again later, is someone who has achieved success in many walks of life: the arts, public service, philanthropy, and business among them. He is, as the brief biography in your program tells you, a former ambassador to Finland, a successful business executive, and a strong promoter of the value of the arts and arts education. As chairman emeritus of the New York State Council on the Arts, Earl I. Mack has made a commitment to rebuilding the arts infrastructure throughout upstate New York and Buffalo in particular. Quote, "Buffalo has always been near and dear to my heart," unquote, said Mack. Quote, "I made it my first stop as chair of the New York State Council on the Arts. I was interested in building the arts infrastructure in Buffalo and also helping to spearhead the effort for rebuilding Shays Buffalo. As chair of the Council of the Arts, he also spearheaded the rehabilitation and rebuilding of Buffalo's Frank Lloyd Wright Landmark House, the Darwin Martin House, and also has provided needed assistance to numerous Buffalo arts organizations, and we thank him for that. In addition to his tenure as U.S. Ambassador to Finland, in 2008, Mr. Mack was an honorary delegate of President George W. Bush's celebration in honor of the 60th anniversary of the State of Israel in Jerusalem. Some of his other highlights of his philanthropic achievements include serving on the board of directors of the National Prostate Cancer Coalition and the Prostate Cancer Foundation. He also served on the board of directors of the Benjamin N. Cardoza School of Law at Yeshiva University, where he was subsequently named vice chair, chair, and chairman emeritus. Mr. Mack is a charter member of the Drexel 100 Outstanding Graduates of Drexel University. He received an honorary Doctor of Business Administration degree from Drexel and served as commencement speaker in 2006. In 2008, the Drexel University School of Law was renamed the Earl Mack School of Law. You might wonder how he has the time to be here today, but he did manage to make it, and it's my great pleasure to introduce our speaker today, the Honorable Earl I. Mack.